Did you know that a medicine originally created to treat diabetes is revolutionizing the way people lose weight? What's more, it can also help combat addictions, something that could impact the lives of millions. This is Ozempic, perhaps the most famous medicine of recent times. But interestingly, its popularity does not come from the reason it was created, but rather from a side effect, or better said, an unexpected benefit. Developed to treat type 2 diabetes, Ozempic fulfills its function effectively, but it didn't take long for it to become the solution of choice for those looking to lose weight quickly. Now that I mentioned Ozempic, you're probably thinking about several things. You may have doubts or even a certain prejudice, especially because you see the medicine being used inappropriately. On the other hand, you may have heard of people who argue that it is the miracle solution that will change everything. And this raises an important question. Is Ozempic really all that? Most of the time, when the internet talks about something revolutionary, the promised miracle ends up being just an exaggeration. But with all the fame and controversy surrounding Ozempic, it looks like it might be the exception to that rule. The question is, can this medicine really change the world? That's what I'm going to explore in this video. So, keep watching, and don't forget to subscribe and share to help more people have access to this information. How does Ozempic work to treat type 2 diabetes? Let's explore the effects, both positive and negative, of this new generation of diabetes medications. If Ozempic is as effective as some of the new evidence suggests, it could impact the lives of billions of people around the world. To understand what makes Ozempic special, we need to know its active ingredient, semaglutide. It belongs to the class of medications called GLP-1 receptor agonists. To put it simply, an agonist is a substance that imitates the action of another. In this case, semaglutide mimics the effect of GLP-1. This hormone, produced naturally by the body, is a member of a group called incretins. Incretins are released after we eat food and play an essential role in regulating the sugar we consume, whether from fructose in fruit or carbohydrates in foods like pasta. This sugar is transformed into glucose, which is the main source of energy for our cells. The level of glucose in the blood is called glycemia, and it is vital that this level is balanced to maintain health. Both very low and high glucose levels can cause serious problems. This is why hormones like GLP-1 are so important. They help maintain blood glucose balance. GLP-1 does this by stimulating the release of insulin from the pancreas after eating. Insulin is critical in allowing cells to convert glucose into energy. However, in people with type 2 diabetes, there is both insulin resistance and a decrease in insulin production over time. Thus, even when insulin is produced, cellular receptors may not respond to it efficiently. This prevents blood glucose from being transformed into energy, which can be extremely dangerous for your health. This is where Ozempic's semaglutide becomes relevant. By mimicking the action of GLP-1, semaglutide helps increase insulin production and make insulin more effective. This action is crucial for controlling blood glucose in patients with type 2 diabetes and also offers other benefits that we will detail, such as reducing appetite and promoting weight loss. These additional effects contributed to the popularity of Ozempic, leading it to gain notoriety beyond its use for diabetes and arousing the interest of many people looking for alternatives for weight loss and weight control. The medicine that fights diabetes and promotes weight loss. Ozempic, by imitating the hormone GLP-1, stimulates the pancreas to produce more insulin than normal, helping to control blood glucose in people with diabetes. But its effects go beyond that, as it also combats insulin resistance. In addition to increasing insulin production, Ozempic makes its action more effective by reducing inflammation, controlling blood fat levels, reducing hormones that raise blood glucose, and promoting weight loss. Patients using Ozempic can lose, on average, 10% of their body weight, and this loss helps control the symptoms of type 2 diabetes. This side effect, which has a significant impact on weight loss, is what made Ozempic so effective. Stand out and gain notoriety outside the world of medicines, becoming a cultural phenomenon. The remarkable weight loss of influencers and celebrities who used Ozempic attracted the attention of many people, making it a miracle for those looking to lose weight. The cultural and economic impact of Ozempic. As a result, Ozempic has become probably the most famous medicine in the world. Last year, the company that holds its patent, Novo Nordisk, reported revenue of more than $50 billion, driven mainly by the sale of semaglutide-based medicines. This amount is almost enough to cover the company's entire research cost since the 1990s, generated by just one product. In the United States, around 6% of the population has used Ozempic or a similar medication, which corresponds to around 20 million people, 8 million of them for weight loss reasons. In Brazil, the substance has not been widely accessible for so long, so we do not have comparable data. The interest in Ozempic was so great that some people even imported it, paying more than 10,000 reais per dose. In the United States, the impact was so significant that even commerce was affected. According to Walmart, which in addition to markets has pharmacies, there is a correlation between Ozempic sales and the decrease in food sales in stores. A single medicine, a single substance, changed consumption behavior in one of the largest chains in the sector. In Brazil, Ozempic generated 3.7 billion reais in sales, and due to high demand, is often out of stock in pharmacies. The medicine's patent in Brazil expires soon, and other pharmaceutical companies are already preparing to launch their own versions of the medicine. Revolution in diabetes and weight control. Ozempic's story so far makes one thing very clear. It has powerful effects in both diabetes treatment and weight loss. And it is increasingly evident that Ozempic will become an important part of future treatments, especially for type 2 diabetes. This is because weight loss, which is a side effect of the drug, is often positive for patients with type 2 diabetes. 2. Many of whom also suffer from obesity. Weight control can in fact help control diabetes itself, as excess body fat, especially visceral fat, is a risk factor for several diseases. Reducing body mass is a valuable intervention, for example, for people with heart problems. This issue becomes even more relevant when we remember that, in Brazil, around half of the adult population is overweight and 1 in 5 people is obese. Weight loss, however, is an immense challenge. Anyone who has tried to lose weight knows that it is not easy. Encouraging someone to lose weight or adopt a healthier diet has an extremely low success rate. Weight loss involves a series of genetic, social, environmental, and health factors, and this can make the task practically impossible for those who most need to reduce body fat to improve their health. That's where Ozempic comes in, more specifically Wegovy, which is the version of Ozempic aimed at weight loss, and which also has semaglutide as an active ingredient. These medications have been used as part of medical interventions for weight loss, and in many cases have shown a considerable degree of success. In fact, the impact was so great that it even generated a certain resentment related to the use of these substances to lose weight, as if anyone who lost weight with a semaglutide-based medication was somehow cheating. And when it comes to Ozempic, the internet is full of strong opinions. This applies to both the weight loss debate and the use of the medication, and opinions on the use of Ozempic to lose weight are divisive. And what do you think about this? Do you think that those who lose weight with Ozempic are somehow cheating? Comment below. Ozempic's presence in public discussions demonstrates how relevant it has become in the debate about health and treatments. This popularity is not bad, especially since the medicine's patent will soon expire, making it more accessible to the population. Therefore, it is essential to discuss how to use it properly. To do this, we first need to understand how a drug created to treat prediabetes and type 2 diabetes makes patients lose weight. The key to understanding this lies in the way semaglutide acts in the body. In addition to controlling blood sugar, semaglutide slows down the digestion of food, which, as a consequence, reduces appetite. But there is another important effect that occurs in the brain. Semaglutide increases the feeling of satiety, making you feel more satisfied with smaller portions of food. This mechanism leads to reduced appetite, which in turn can result in weight loss. Potential in treating addictions and their risks. A medicine that treats diabetes and at the same time helps with weight loss is impressive in itself. But there is something else that has started to attract the attention of experts, and that could have an even greater impact, capable of transforming the lives of billions of people. Semaglutide, the active ingredient in Ozempic, may have the potential to treat one of the most difficult conditions to deal with: addictions. However, it is important to highlight that there is still no definitive scientific confirmation on the effectiveness of Ozempic for this purpose. What we have is evidence from patient reports and some studies with laboratory animals. Initial research indicates that medications such as semaglutide, present in Ozempic, can reduce the consumption of substances such as alcohol, nicotine, cocaine, and methamphetamine. This suggests that Ozempic's effect may go beyond appetite regulation and blood sugar control, also impacting reward circuits in the brain. These circuits are activated when addictive substances and behaviors release dopamine, a neurotransmitter essential for the brain's reward system, which in turn motivates repetitive behaviors, such as the consumption of psychoactive substances. What is observed is that Ozempic can, in some way, modulate this system, reducing the dopamine spike generated by the consumption of addictive substances and, thus, helping to reduce compulsion. Patients who started using Ozempic report that, after starting treatment, there was a reduction in their interest in alcohol and other compulsive behaviors, such as excessive consumption of sweets. These reports are promising, but it is essential to remember that, in science, they are considered weak evidence. What really opens up a promising path are animal studies, combined with patient reports. These data have encouraged larger clinical studies to investigate the impact of semaglutide and similar medications in treating addiction. If Ozempic is proven to have the ability to affect the brain's reward system in a way that treats drug addiction, it would represent a historic advance in medicine. A feat that would place Ozempic and its analogs among revolutionary medicines, comparable to antibiotics and insulin. However, an important limitation is that many of the studies carried out to date involve patients with obesity, diabetes, or both. Therefore, the effects of treating addiction in people who do not have these conditions are not yet clear. This difference is crucial and needs to be considered as research progresses to determine the true effectiveness of Ozempic in this new context. Recently, a study published in the journal Addiction observed a reduction in rates of opioid overdose and alcohol poisoning in patients who use GLP-1 analog medications. However, it is important to highlight that the study has limitations, mainly because it is a retrospective analysis based on data from medical records. Therefore, it is not possible to say with certainty a cause and effect relationship between the use of Ozempic and the reduction of addictions. Still, the results are promising and show that it is worth continuing to investigate the impact of medications like Ozempic on addiction treatment. It is undeniable that Ozempic is a useful medicine, but it is also essential to remember that it can have unwanted side effects, such as dehydration and the risk of inflammation in the pancreas, which can be especially dangerous for those who consume excessive alcohol or already have problems with this organ. Benefits, limitations, and responsible use. Like any medication, it is essential to follow the guidance of healthcare professionals to use it correctly. Additionally, it is important to exercise caution when considering using Ozempic to treat addiction. While existing evidence is promising, we still don't have definitive proof that it can effectively treat addiction. Ozempic's effectiveness in weight loss, especially long-term, also needs further study. Despite the popularity and controversy surrounding Ozempic, it is important to separate its true usefulness from misuse. Currently, semaglutide, the active ingredient in Ozempic, is indicated to treat type 2 diabetes and aid in weight loss. If you've watched this far, share your experience with Ozempic in the comments. Thank you, and see you in the next video.